I'm Zach from Fronts of Freedom, and my next guest makes not only her Invicta FC debut, but her U.S. debut as well, when she faces the PFL veteran and Abigail Montes. She's based out of the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. She is Jamie Edenden. How's it going today, Jamie?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
So this was a long time coming. I didn't realize I reached out before it was officially announced, which was weird because they had it listed and it wasn't officially announced. But the big news is you're coming to the U.S. to fight, and 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks away, Invicta debut, and you're going to face Abby. What have you seen from her, and how do you think you match up?
Look, I'll answer the last bit first. I think it's going to be a bloody war. I think we both come forward. We're both aggressive. We both stand in the pocket and throw heavy shots. So I think it's going to be an exciting fight for the fans and for the Invicta promotion and everyone who's watching. But yeah, I've seen Abby around for a while. I've obviously been following the division for quite some time because that's where I want to go. So I've seen her fight on a number of occasions, and I mean, she beat Clarissa Shields. So she's fought the best of the best in the division, and I'm excited to be able to share the cage with her.
Nice to know. Like I said, this is not only just your Invicta debut, but your U.S. debut as well. You previously fought for the prime regional promotions out your way, Eternal, Hex, and so on. What does it mean to kind of fight for Invicta now, who the entire card is a showcase of women's MMA versus women only getting 1 or 2 slots on a normal card?
Yeah, I think it's exciting. I think women's fights are totally underrated because, if there's a women's fight on the card, it's usually one of the only fights that gets a standing ovation. Women go hard, we don't back off. We don't, we put on a good show. And as I said, I think that they're underrated, and it's Invicta are doing amazing things, and they have been doing amazing things for such a long time. So I'm absolutely grateful and stoked to be able to be on their card.
Yeah, I can't agree with that even more. I've been an Invicta fan since Invicta 5. So we're now at 57 plus a little, there's 4 or 5 cards that aren't numbered. So it's technically almost 60 events at this point. And you nailed it right on the head too. It's so weird seeing the general complaint fest over a women's MMA in the UFC. And the girls push harder because they have that unfair standard where they have to go harder sometimes. And Invicta, you have 9 to 10 fights, all females, and typically almost all of those go to a finish. It showcases why women's MMA is as strong as it is, and how if other promotions cared a little more, it could be elsewhere as well. But prior to this, you previously made the case that you're ready for a Bellator or PFL. I don't know if we should really focus on Bellator too much because who knows what's going on there. So PFL's who owns both anyway. I kind of mentioned before we hit record, PFL Australia is coming your way next year. The downside is kind of how you kind of mentioned off camera too. Probably not going to be doing women's featherweights. They probably should because UFC is not doing them. So give someone else, a place to go and land and grow. And if you're going to do these territories, that's where you grow these talents to build up your future divisions. But more importantly, with a win here, 3 of your last 4 opponents have fought for them. So, does this not solidify, they need to sign Jamie Edenden to the promotion at this point?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm the only one from this region that are taking these fights. There is other featherweights in this region, but they just keep fighting each other. And I'm the only one that says, yes, Janae Harding, yes, Gace Anita, yes, Jenna Fabian. And I had to come up 2 weight classes to fight Jenna Fabian. So for me, it's never a no, and I'm always pushing myself to face these good girls because I'm only going to get better from it. And I truly believe that I'm at this level where I can fight the best women in the world. So now that I'm on my way to the world stage, I've already been tested by the best girls, in our region that have already been there. So when I go there, I'm not gonna I'm ready for it. I'm ready for whatever they throw at me because I've already versed, the best of the best from here.
I mean, you figure this is your 8th MMA fight. After this fight, half of your fights have been fighters who have fought for PFL or Bellator. Yeah. No one else, no one in the U.S. with the market that's on their front door is doing that. You're not getting that level of competition until you're there, and you've already showcased that you can hang with them. But I kind of want to switch up a little bit. Majority of my audience obviously is in the U.S. If I say Hex, I say Eternal, I say any of the other smaller regionals out there, they don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So for my community and all, can you explain kind of like what the MMA community is like in your area as far and even as Australia as a whole? Like, what's the MMA community out there?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think you've seen, recently we've had a whole group of really talented people going over to UFC and obviously Invicta and Bellator, and the Aussies are bringing it. Like every single time we get an Aussie, they're absolutely killing it on these big stages, and that is a testament to the local shows that we have here. The local shows like Hex and Eternal and Beatdown Promotions, like they're all putting on the best of the best fights. And they're building these people up so that they're ready to be able to go to these shows from the local scene. And sometimes you look at these fights, like the fight between Jenna and myself. We were fighting on Hex Fight Series in New Zealand, but that fight was worthy of being on the world stage. So she's been there, she's been fighting in PFL. I'm at a point where I'm ready to go. So these shows are actually really lucky to have these sorts of fights that they can put on. And then send the fighters on their way to these big world class shows.
While setting this up, you kind of mentioned too, like you do more than just MMA. Obviously, you run a coffee shop and all too. So, like outside of fighting, like what does Jamie do like when you're not training?
Look, if you ask my friends and my family and all my training partners, they would say that 90% of my time is in the gym. I own my gym with two other people, my coach and my business partner, Jeremy. So I'm running the day-to-day operations of the gym, and also running our coffee shop, also trying to be a full-time athlete, as trying to catch up with my friends and family. So I literally live my life down to the minute. I don't have much spare time. So I'm hanging with my dogs, hanging with my friends, but honestly, most of my time is spent training, because right now in my life, this is my purpose. This is all I want to do. This is all I want to be. So majority of my time and energy goes into training and becoming the best fighter that I can be.
Awesome. That's a great segue into my next question too. Like, as far as like fighters too, have there been any like, particular fighters, be it male or female, who like really inspired you and motivate you to do this as a career?
Yeah, look, I think my biggest motivators are my teammates. I spend so much time with them in and out of the gym, and I'm living their life with them. I'm able to see the ups and downs, and I can see the hardships that they go to every day, and they're still in here working and training and trying to, whether they're just amateurs doing it as a hobby, or whether they're moving up in the pro ranks to be the best in the country or the best in the world. I'm really inspired by the people that I get to train with and be around every day. Obviously, I have aspirations to be the best featherweight in the world. So I look at someone like Megan Anderson, who is also from Australia, who was the first Australian MMA world champion that we had, and she was the Invicta world champion. So I am inspired to follow in her footsteps as well. And, obviously people like Chris Cyborg and all those girls who are the greatest of all time. Like, I inspire to be like those, but I'm on my own journey, and yeah, my teammates inspire me the most, I guess.
And one thing you always hear in the MMA world, US, we don't support our own fighters. We bash our fighters more than anything. I've never heard an Aussie shoot down an Aussie fighter. So, like, what does it mean to kind of like represent Australia when you make the trip to Kansas City, Missouri in about 2 weeks?
Oh, it's amazing. It's been a long time, as I said, since a woman of my weight class. The last person was Megan Anderson. So, and that was a long time ago. So I'm really proud to be able to represent my country. And I think in Australia, we kind of have this culture of, we want to, I want you to win. I want everyone to win. I'm not in competition with anyone. I want everyone to succeed. Even if I'm not their friend, or I'm not, in their gym or whatever, I still want everyone to succeed, because everyone's on their own journey. Everyone has different goals and different aspirations in their career. And, who am I to judge someone if they want to, fight on the local shows in Australia, or they want to go to the UFC or to Invicta? Yeah.
Can you like bring that to the US with you? Like that entire mentality? Because like we don't have that here. Like,
yeah,
if a fighter loses, they're the biggest piece of afterwards. Like, it makes no sense, and it's really because of gambling. That's what it all comes down to. But to have that mentality, that's just like that's why the sport is as great as it is, because every fighter has their own journey. And I love that you say that too. And it's always great to see people make that dream grow. And sometimes it ends at the regional. Sometimes it ends on the first fight. And sometimes you go and you have a very long career. But outside of that, I want to pass the mic to you real fast to kind of like tell my audience why they should tune in to watch you fight on Invicta 57. Because again, a lot of them may not have heard of you because of the fact that they only watch the UFC. So like, let them know why they need to tune in. Mike's all yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, every single MMA fight that I've had has been entertaining. I've won fight of the night performances. I'm always told that I'm entertaining. And at the end of the day, I'm in the entertainment business and I want the crowd to be entertained, to remember my fight. And every time I get in the cage, I'm remembered. Whether I win or I lose, I'm always remembered. So tune in for one of the best female featherweight fights that you'll see in a while.
Awesome. This fight does go down September 20th, CBS Sports Network. Prelims start on YouTube and Facebook, so anyone can tune into the prelims. You can find a way to watch the main event if you know where to look. If you don't have CBS Sportsnet, not going to say how to do it, but you have the internet. And more importantly, tune in and watch Jamie get another win. You might see her in a PFL cage in the very near future, if not somewhere else. So best of skill in your next fight, and I look forward to watching it. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much.